So I'm wearing this headgear because I had a very short haircut, and also because I just came back from Abu Dhabi and Dubai on a team elite trip. So I paid a lot of money for this head scarf. Thought better maximize the use of it while it's still relevant. Okay, so let me get going. The topic today is going with the flow. So, anytime you want to go somewhere, you want to get to a destination, you are here, destination is there, and in between there are obstacles. Okay, and the longer the journey, the more unknowns and the more obstacles will exist. Now, if obstacles are an inescapable reality of life, what can we do about them when we encounter them? So today, let me share my let me share my slides. Okay. So, what does water do when it meets an obstacle in its path? Okay. Here's a quote: "Even when it encounters an obstacle, flowing water always goes on its intended way. If it meets a rock, even if it parts, it goes around and round again and keeps flowing. There is no path. If there is no path, it makes one." This is a quote from Ilchi Li. So water flows around an obstacle or over it, and with what I call teamwork, okay, it will amass more water. It will have so much mass that it will push over obstacles. Break dams. It'll knock down walls. It will knock buildings down. It will carry objects, cars, buses, even buildings. It will sweep in its path. Okay, that's water. So today I want to point out three aspects of going with the flow. The first is acceptance. Okay, acceptance. Lao Tzu said, "Nothing is softer or more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it," as I just earlier shared with you. So it's about being flexible. Okay, acceptance is about being flexible, which is sometimes passive. Acceptance is being relaxed, being present. Okay, that means you're still focused on the people there. You're not thinking about all kinds of ways to escape the current situation, and you're enjoying the present, as a gift. And as a gift, that means this is the principle of mastery: have what I have. Okay. Nalu Karamati said, "Drink the waters meant to drown you. Drink the waters meant to drown you." That's having what I have. Okay. And you're content because you see the cup as half full. And this is what scroll 6 of the greatest salesman in the world talks about. It encourages you to be a master of emotions. Scroll 6, "I will be a master of my emotions." When I master of my emotions, I can live the fifth leadership distinction. My vision and commitment dictate my actions, not my feelings, assessments, or evaluations. Okay? I can live that. I'm not allowing my feelings, assessments, or evaluations to dictate my actions. I can be massively proactive and take action. So the second aspect of going with the flow is action. Okay? And in the success mantra, intention plus action plus grace equal to success. Action is the second part of this mantra that invokes grace or invokes God. So let me share with you some examples on the recent team elite trip to Abu Dhabi and Dubai. There was a rainstorm, okay, on the second day of the trip, which is the day we had business meetings. It's usually a holiday, so that day was designated for business meetings, and it was the heaviest rainfall in 75 years of keeping records in the UAE. They had 1 year's rain in one day. So obviously there was chaos floods and all that. The company canceled all optional tours that we had booked, and most people stayed indoors to avoid the risk of being stranded. So now I'm talking about action. Okay, so what were the actions some people took? Okay, so some were determined to go out although it was still wet. Okay, like Amy, Gary, Jackie, and myself, we decided to go to SeaWorld still after the business meeting. It was at 4 o'clock. We managed to get out there, although it was raining. But you know, there was at closing time. So we were, by the time we got there, it was nearly 5 o'clock. It closed at 6 o'clock, and you can see out there was a raging storm, and all these people, you know, were still couldn't go out at all. They were waiting there. Finally, at 6:30, the rain stopped enough for people to rush out and try to find transport. Okay, and for us taking a shuttle bus, there was just one bus there, and when we got there, it was full. So Jackie and I were standing outside in the rain, and finally we managed to get out of the rain into this bus. So Jackie's very, very wet but very, very happy there. And back in the Grand Hyatt there, we are carrying our shoes with, you know, wet. She pulled up her trousers, and we're having a great time. Okay, so you know, we could still take action and we could still have a great time. But you know, what happened to other people who stayed back? So the CEO, Ryan Napierski, held ad hoc meetings. Okay, he grabbed the opportunity to have impromptu meetings called by proactive leaders to explain the issues currently facing the company. And this, you know, those of you in the business have heard about this famous 5-hour meeting that led to more explanations to other groups that totally transformed the trust that these top team elite leaders had in the management and in Nu Skin as the best possible opportunity today. So here's an example of this. I wasn't at that main meeting because I was out, you know, stranded out there in SeaWorld. But this was subsequent meetings that they had. When other people heard about the 5-hour, they wanted more. And so this is Ryan, this is Justin Kiesel, okay, the chief chief operations officer. Okay, and this is Marguerite here. So, and then, you know, roads in Dubai. So we were in Abu Dhabi. We moved down to Dubai. The roads were flooded. And when we wanted to get to the Grand Hyatt in Dubai, it was flooded. So I want to share with you, this is Artemis Limpert. So some of you will know Artemis. Artemis, many, many years ago, came down to Singapore to speak to a generic network marketing conference. We got to know her, found out she was with Nu Skin. In fact, Hui Swan got paid for coaching from her. And so every team elite trip, I get to meet Artemis. And, you know, this is Artemis, her experience with the flood.
Okay, good thing I've been working out because there's no way into the hotel. So we're carrying our luggage through the flood here. See you in a bit.
Okay, so, you know, this is a leader. This Artemis used this as an opportunity to show up as a leader in health and fitness. So obviously you see she's strong and fit. In attitude, most important. And in leadership, you know, 100% is possible, 100%. We are going to get to the hotel, you know. If it's to be, it's up to me. I need to carry this. And of course, she used teamwork. She was willing to let the other person help, but she was part of the team. And this is a classic, actual, literal example of someone carrying her own weather, which is what leaders do. Okay. Now, on the last morning of the team elite trip, some people had already left before. Willing had left at 1 a.m. the night before. And in the morning, people were dispersing. There was the last breakfast, and my friend Bernard Chan, who we were going to stay with for the next 3 days, he was going to pick us up, and he wanted to have breakfast with us in the hotel. And I chose not to have breakfast with him because I wanted to spend some time with some leaders. And we saw that Sean and Cherry Brady were alone, so we joined them for breakfast. And I was able to acknowledge them for their valuable contribution to us through the One Team Global Facebook Live broadcast that they regularly do, even though they are so successful in this business. And then I personally asked Cherry what she felt about that 5-hour meeting, and she shared some things with me, which I actually have the privilege of recording. Okay, so I experienced the family community spirit in New Skin again. Now another example of action. We're talking about action now. Is Susan. Okay, so Susan was practicing ABC. ABC. A is the advisor, C is the customer or the client, and B the bridge. So she was being the bridge between Amy and her friends. Kenneth and Lillian, and because she took action, something could happen. Possibilities are possible, and here they are queuing up. She signed up and they're paying for something like $3,000 worth of products that will help this couple age even better. Okay, so that's the first point was acceptance, but then it's also taking action, massive action. And the third key word is awareness. So awareness is about the sixth sense. Okay, we are a receiving station. Our subconscious is a receive. So there's a sixth sense from God, from the universe, you call it. Awareness of of having a team around you. A team that gives tips and information. For example, Pat and Margaret. How do we know about these secret meetings? Because we have got friends and and mentors telling us, Amy and Gary, letting us know what's going on. In fact, when we share about the opportunities in India, which we're going to talk about, it's creating awareness because of this sense of because of this teamwork. Okay. Now, as I also said, nothing is softer or more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. So that's the power of water. Okay, be like water. Now tomorrow, Tuesday tips will be by Hui Swan, so we look forward to 11 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, so bye everyone.